I'm very pleased and happy with the paper that you have delivered. And none of us here who truly love Nigeria and are sincere will disagree with anything that you have presented to us in your paper. And the one that caught my mind, the one that caught my attention, is not that I've not heard it before, but I've always believed it, which is the fact that we do have differences. We should not disregard those differences. We should not pretend that those differences do not exist. They do exist, sometimes pleasantly, and sometimes not so very pleasantly, but they do exist. And what we must not do, truthfully, is ignore them. And I think it's that ignoring and pretending that if we accept those differences, it means that we don't love Nigeria. Very far from it. In my opinion, if you love Nigeria, you must face the truth of what Nigeria is, which is that Nigeria is a country that was brought together, not by people who are Nigerians, but by people who colonized us for their own needs. But now we're together. How do we make the best of the fact that we are together? All the solutions, we've discussed them over the years. I won't attempt to prefer solutions. I will rather want to encourage us that since we know the solutions, we should be sincere and begin to pick those solutions. And it is those solutions, the real solutions to the problems of Nigeria, because we do have problems, that is going to move Nigeria forward, that is going to make Nigeria the great country that it ought to be, and that will genuinely make us the one people that we say we desire to be. We desire to be one people. Different languages, different culture, very beautiful. But how then do we have a situation where some people are very angry, some people are very upset, some people don't care how others feel? And so, if knowing our father, Chief E.K. Clark, and our late father, Pa Adebanjo, his dear friend, knowing what they believed in, and what their other friends across the bridge also believed in, and we are truly desirous of creating a different Nigeria, not another Nigeria as such, but definitely a different Nigeria, because another Nigeria may mean that we're no longer the Nigeria that we are now, and that we are separated, for instance. But if we desire to create a different Nigeria, then we're still Nigeria, we're still in Nigeria, we're still Nigerians, but we're now recognizing that we're equal partners in this country called Nigeria. What is evolving today, which I want to very quickly point out, and I believe it involves some of the things that the lecture has addressed, is the issue of good governance. I saw where he highlighted the negativities of having a one-state party. In our lifetime, right now, today in Nigeria, this afternoon, we are seeing the evolution of a one-state party in Nigeria. That's very dangerous, in my own opinion and my little experience I have had over the years in Nigeria. It is very dangerous if we think it is all right for everybody to be in one party. That issue should be addressed by politicians, whether they are actively in politics today or they are no longer actively in politics. It's very serious that we try our best to stand up and say, no, we cannot have a one-state party pretending that it is all right to have a one-state party in Nigeria. The other aspect is where we are quietly accepting a situation where we are putting aside the Constitution of Nigeria, 1999 Constitution. As bad as some of us think and believe, and I'm one of those people that believe that we should have a brand new Constitution. But what we have today, before we get that, is a 99 Constitution. And I think putting it aside and allowing what is happening in Nigeria today to go on, I will use my state as an example. If I don't do that, I will not be fair to me, I will not be fair to my people, I won't be fair to Pa Ike Clark. It was one of the last fights that he was fighting before he died. What is happening in Rivers State should not happen in any state in Nigeria, not any state. If we allow it to happen and continue and end up in the way that I believe it is seemingly ending up, where one human being and a group of persons are having a final say of what happens in a state, that is very dangerous. If it's allowed to happen in Rivers State, it will go on in another state if we don't stop it. So, Mike, what I'm trying to say is that I'm agreeing with your position and what you've presented, and agreeing that we must begin to solve the problem of Nigeria that has lingered from the civil war, from when we went to the meeting in the UK, when our fathers went to the meeting before independence, and the wrongs that independence has brought to us. We should correct those wrongs and create a new right that is right for Nigeria, that is right for Nigerians. It doesn't matter where you're coming from. And if you're not a Nigerian, you're very simply not a Nigerian. Thank you very much.
Thank you.